Okay, imagine this for a second. A machine, not one that just takes your commands, but one that can actually make your body move. Not just suggest an action, but literally induce it. It's a pretty mind-bending idea, right? And that brings us straight to our deep dive today. Electrical muscle stimulation, or EMS. Now, yeah, it's been around in medical rehab for ages, but um, its recent link up with modern computing, AI, even brain-computer interfaces, that's a whole different ballgame. A real paradigm shift. You might have seen that viral video, someone playing Counter-Strike 2.
Oh yeah, the Raspberry Pi one.
Exactly. With computer-controlled EMS making their hand move, it's a striking example, bypassing voluntary control completely. So our mission today is to really unpack this. We'll look at the science behind computer-controlled EMS, its current uses, what's coming down the pipeline, and yeah, the big ethical questions too. So let's start right at the beginning. The science. How does EMS actually, make muscles move? What's the basic mechanism?
Well, it's actually quite straightforward, fundamentally. EMS works by sending controlled electrical pulses. These pulses go directly to your motor neurons.
The nerves that control the muscle.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And those impulses cause the muscle to contract. So you have this effect some people call artificial muscle memory.
Mm.
The key thing here is the computer isn't just giving you feedback like a buzz or something. It's making the physical action happen.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it's got a solid history. Neuromuscular rehab, think stroke recovery, spinal cord injuries,
Right.
vital for preventing muscle wasting, atrophy in patients who can't move. And then there's FES, functional electrical stimulation.
Yeah.
That takes it further, helps paralyzed individuals do complex things like, well, walking, cycling, even grasping objects.
And that's the jump-off point, isn't it? Taking that established science and adding real-time computer control, that's what blows the potential wide open, way beyond just therapy.
Exactly. It transforms it.
So with that powerful combination in mind, where are we actually seeing this tech applied today? Outside the traditional clinic, where is it making waves?
Well, in medicine and rehab, it's still hugely important. For stroke patients, it's a big help in regaining motor control. You stimulate those weakened muscles during physio. It helps rewire things, essentially.
Re-educating the pathway.
Exactly. And for spinal cord injuries, FES is often a real game changer. Enabling hand grasps, maybe some cycling, even limited walking gives back a degree of function. And let's not forget chronic pain therapy. It could be used for muscle relaxation, targeted pain management too.
Okay, now what about sports and fitness? I think people might have seen those. Those full-body EMS suits, Miha, BodyTech, X-Body, things like that. They claim to make workouts way more intense. Is there something to that?
There's certainly a market for them, and the research is ongoing. They claim to activate muscle groups more deeply than you might voluntarily. But what's maybe more interesting scientifically is the research into using EMS for real-time correction, like correcting your posture while you lift or refining an athlete's form.
Ah, so it subtly nudges you into the perfect squat or golf swing.
That's the idea. Not just building strength, but embedding the right technique, almost programming it into the muscles.
Okay, fascinating. Now, beyond health and fitness, there's defense and military. That seems like a surprising area. How is advanced EMS used there?
Well, it's about pushing human performance limits. Think about accelerating reaction times. You could potentially use controlled EMS to almost program reflexes.
Program reflexes. What?
And then there's simulation. This is really impactful. You can use EMS to replicate physical sensations in training.
Like what kind of sensations?
Weapon recoil, maybe the jolt from a nearby explosion, even simulating an injury, all without any real danger. It makes the training vastly more immersive and, well, effective.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and look further out. Peering ahead, say, 10, 15 years. What are the really exciting, maybe even slightly unsettling future applications on the horizon?
In human-computer interaction, or HCI, there's some really interesting stuff. Think hands-free guidance.
Hands-free guidance.
Okay. Imagine EMS physically guiding your hand, like a tiny nudge for a surgeon using robotic tools, much more direct than just a vibration alert.
Okay, that's subtle but powerful.
And then there's simulating touch in VR and AR. EMS could provide the feeling of weight, resistance, texture.
So actually feeling the virtual object you're holding.
Exactly. Deepening immersion dramatically. It starts to blur that line between the digital and the physical, changes how we interact with virtual spaces entirely.
And thinking about assistive tech, the potential seems huge, giving people with disabilities more independence.
Absolutely. Computer-controlled EMS could help with everyday things, eating, writing, using tools. That's a massive potential boost for quality of life, for autonomy.
Yeah, truly life-changing potential there.
And another big area is prosthetics. coordinating natural muscles with artificial limbs for smoother, more intuitive movement,
Mm.
making the prosthetic feel less like a tool and more like, well, part of you.
For consumers, gamers maybe, beyond just seeing things in VR, you're talking about actually feeling them, like weapon recoil you mentioned.
Precisely. Feeling the kick in your shoulder or the resistance when you pull a virtual bowstring, it adds a whole new layer.
It's not just sight and sound anymore.
Right. Or think simpler, more everyday stuff. Imagine little EMS nudges on your wrist guiding you instead of a GPS voice interrupting your walk.
Ah, like a silent physical direction.
Yes, subtle, intuitive. A whole new way to interact with navigation tech.
So, if we paint a picture based on that 10-15-year outlook,
Hmm.
we might see AI-driven rehab clinics using these EMS suits to slash recovery times for stroke patients.
Very possibly. Getting people back on their feet much faster.
And maybe in industry,
Hmm.
workers wearing EMS-enabled exosuits, enforcing correct lifting techniques to cut down on injuries.
That's a definite possibility, especially in physically demanding jobs like construction or logistics. Big implications for workplace safety.
Sports coaching gets an upgrade too. EMS embedding perfect form right into muscle memory for athletes.
Could accelerate skill learning significantly. Imagine training muscle memory directly.
And the military angle, conditioning soldiers for near-instant reactions in simulations.
Taking reflex training to another level, potentially.
And for the average person, maybe EMS just becomes a standard feature in VR headsets, adding that sense of touch, resistance, making virtual worlds feel solid.
It seems like a logical progression for immersive tech, doesn't it? Making it truly multisensory.
So, looking at all this, current uses, future potential, what does it all mean for the market, for investment? Where's the money flowing?
Yeah, good question. The market potential is pretty substantial across several areas. The medical EMS market, for instance, is already projected to go well beyond $1.5 billion by 2030. That's mainly driven by rehab devices.
Okay, that's significant.
And the sports EMS side, those training suits and devices we talked about, that's a growing niche in fitness tech. You see them in high-end gyms, pro sports.
Right.
And then VR and gaming haptics, that's expected to be a multi-billion-dollar sector. And EMS is seen as a potential game changer there, something far beyond just basic vibrations. It offers, well, true physical feedback.
Okay, so the potential is clearly massive. But whenever you have technology this powerful, that can directly influence the body. You have to ask about the downsides, the risks. What are the big challenges we need to address?
Well, technically, there are still hurdles. Getting really, really fine motor control, think delicate hand movements, like writing, that's still tough for EMS.
Precision is a challenge.
Yeah. And synchronizing it perfectly across multiple joints for complex actions, coordinating many muscles smoothly. That's also complex.
And what about safety? Directly stimulating nerves and muscles.
Right.
What are the risks involved there?
The main ones are nerve or muscle damage if the stimulation is wrong, too intense, or applied incorrectly. That's a clear risk.
Misapplication could cause harm.
Definitely. But maybe the bigger unknown, the thing we really need more research on, is the long-term effects. What does repeated long-term EMS exposure actually do to the body? We don't fully know yet.
Okay, that's a crucial point. And beyond technical and safety, the ethical side, this feels like where it gets really profound.
It absolutely does. I mean, this raises a fundamental topic about autonomy. If a computer can directly control your muscles, who is actually in command? Where does your agency begin and end?
Right. Who's pulling the strings, literally?
And then there's consent. How do we ensure informed consent, especially if the tech becomes more widespread? And what about potential misuse?
Like coercive applications. You mentioned military, maybe law enforcement.
It's a possibility you have to consider, which leads to this, well, really deep question about human identity. If your actions aren't entirely voluntary, where's the line between you and the machine's influence?
That's a heavy one. Blurring the lines of self.
It really underscores why we need careful, responsible development. We need clear regulations and, importantly, ongoing discussion across disciplines: tech, ethics, law, medicine. The goal has to be ensuring EMS develops as something that empowers people, not something that controls or coerces them.
So we've covered a lot of ground today, from EMS as this niche rehab tool through its evolution into this powerful technology impacting healthcare, training, VR, and potentially so much more.
Yeah, the promise is immense. But as we've really dug into, it comes hand in hand with some pretty significant challenges: safety, ethics, the technical hurdles still ahead, lots to consider.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up, here's something for you, our listener, to think about. As this computer-controlled EMS technology keeps advancing, what does it really mean for our idea of free will, for the boundaries between human and machine? What aspects of this technology stand out most to you, and what implications do you think are most important for us all to grapple with as we move forward?